Everyone has got their perspectives. Hector Peterson, what's your perspective? Sorry? Okay, all right. The debate topic is transitioning to 100% renewable energy, achievable or unrealistic, right? We are first going to have our opening speakers. Each speaker will be given 4 minutes each. Are we clear on that? Can we have our opening speakers come to the front, please? Chop, chop, chop. You guys should be ready by now. So you'll just get up from your chair and render your opening statement. You don't have to move to the podium. Judges, are you ready? We'll start off with Bishohai. The timer is projected. Once your 4 minutes has elapsed, you'll hear a sound. Over to you, Bishohai.
I would like to extend my warmest greetings to everyone on this platform. Standing before you is Gwatita Sale from a very prestigious institution named English High School. And I will be dwelling under the topic of renewable energies. And starting with solar energy, which is radiation from the sun, capable of producing heat, causing chemical reactions, and generating electricity. After the 21st century, this energy was expected to become increasingly attractive as a renewable energy because of its inexhaustible and non-polluting character. And now moving on to wind energy, which was once called windmills, the technology used to harness the power of wind has advanced significantly over the past 10 years. Wind turbines, as they are now called, collect and convert the kinetic energy that wind produces into electricity to help the power grid. And now moving on to hydroelectricity power, which is a form of energy that harnesses the power of water in motion, such as water flowing over a waterfall to generate electricity. Now moving on to geothermal energy, which is heat that is generated within the earth. The vast majority of Earth's heat is constantly generated by the decay of radioactive isotopes. These are sources of geothermal energy. Their heat can be captured and used directly for heat, or their steam can be used to generate electricity. And now moving on to biomass. Biomass is organic, meaning it is made of material that comes from living organisms, such as plants, animals, and the most common biomass materials used for energy are plants, wood, and waste. And now moving on how we can use this renewable energy sources to increase our political stability. Multiple studies about the role of governance in energy consumption, energy efficiency, and overall energy policy, for instance, provided a global governance context for decarbonization and renewable energy adoption. The study specifically applied the context to energy-intensive industries, including content, chemicals, aluminium, steel, etc. However, using global governance to decarbonize these energies-intensive industries is still underexplored and underutilized. To resolve this issue, the authors suggested that forming a centralized institution that can enforce energy policies and help industries maintain a certain net emission goal. This role is centralized to governance and in the energy sector, and also help eliminate how various political aspects, including corruption, governance, and the rule of law, can impact renewable and non-renewable energy use in industries. In their research, mentioned that political governance means to affect energy efficiency profounding, and so does the corruption perception index. Using some proxies for political governance, the results showed that all proxies improve energy efficiency. Therefore, it is worth exploring the context of energy efficiency and to what extent it supports of use the renewable energy. Moreover, good governance can also improve access to energy for citizens in a country. And according to some officials, centric policies and governance studies in the energy sector can help improve the overall perception and the acceptance of people about new energy technology, and that can improve the overall efficiency of the sector. It was also proved that some level of decentralized responsibilities is crucial to ensure efficiency in electricity. And now moving on who can we trust as a country to own the renewable resource. The renewable energy sector in South Africa is young. diverse and fragmented with industry structures that are relatively immature. The current Renewable Energy Industry Association in South Africa is characterized by technology and territorial competition and can no longer be seen as representing the renewable energy sector. Currently, the existing renewable energy industry associations are somewhat inwardly focused for membership and relevance among the membership base. Where Eskom was the single buyer of renewable energy in South Africa from independent power producers towards a diverse, competitive, and multifaceted renewable energy.
Before the next speakers, the way as they talk, guys, you just get up from your chair and then you give your opening statement so that you don't move away from the pen. Thank you.
Sociocultural is a term related to social and cultural factors, which means common traditions, habits, patterns, and beliefs present in a population group. Greetings to the House at Large. Standing before you is Amila Mawesi, representing the Lighthouse Academy of Learning as the first speaker, and I'll be introducing the motion sociocultural. Along with me is Ms. Mamza, the second speaker, who will be elaborating ethical and moral issues around scientific development. Mr. Ndololwane will be elaborating furthermore on the advancement of the science and implementation of technology hindered by cultural beliefs as the third speaker. Ms. Mbombela will focus on how science and technology advances society as the fourth speaker. Ms. Matipe, our last speaker, will conclude the team's argument, and I will not be standing more longer, and I will be closing off the statement by social impact is an increasingly important evaluation pyramid in scientific governance. This trend can be seen in the implementation of large-scale impact agendas in various research and innovation systems over the past decades. Thank
you. Greetings to the floor at large. Standing before you is a speaker from Mr. Peterson under the economic perspective. Renewable energy is energy derived from natural sources that are replenished at a higher rate than they are consumed. Sunlight and wind, for example, are such resources that are constantly being replenished. The international community has shown recent commitments to change the trajectory of the energy mix from traditional fossil fuels to renewable energy. Research and development investment spending on renewable energy has a crucial effect on reducing major greenhouse gas and air pollutants. Fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and gas are the largest contributors to climate change. In solar energy, solar technologies can deliver heat, cooling, electricity, and fuels to a host of applications. Solar technologies convert sunlight into electrical energy, either through photovoltaic panels or through mirrors that concentrate solar radiation. It is increasingly affordable, so people can save money by getting solar panels. Solar also works in a variety of climates. Wind energy harnesses the kinetic energy of moving air using large wind turbines located on land. Wind energy has been used for millennia, but onshore and offshore wind technologies have evolved over the last few years to maximize the electricity produced with turbines and larger rotor diameter. Renewable offers a way out of import dependency and drives inclusive economic growth and new jobs. Renewable energy actually is the cheapest power option in most parts of the world today. Its prices are dropping rapidly. The cost of electricity from solar power fell by 85% between 2010 and 2020. With falling prices, there is a real opportunity for much of the new supply over the coming years. Cheap electricity from renewable sources could provide 65% of the world's total electricity supply by 2030, and that could mean there would be less or no load shedding in the country, which could make businesses to operate in a proper way, making the economy's power supply more affordable. According to the World Health Organization, about 99% of people in the world breathe air that exceeds air quality limits and threatens their health, and more than 20 or 13 million deaths around the world each year are due to avoidable environmental causes, including air pollution. The International Energy Agency estimates that the transition towards net zero emissions will lead to an overall increase in energy sector jobs, while about 3 million jobs in fossil fuels production could be lost by 2030. An estimation of 40 million new jobs would be created in clean energy, and that would decrease the unemployment rate. In addition, energy-related industries would require a further 60 million workers, for instance, to take a new role in manufacturing of electric vehicles and hyper-efficient appliances. This means that a total of more than 3 million jobs could be created in clean energy by 2030. Accelerating the transition to clean energy is the pathway to a healthy, livable planet today and for generations to come. Ladies and gents, I thank you.
Greetings to the floor. Now, standing before you is Ivan Amsaki, a proud scholar from Portrait, Signal High School. Political is our renewable sources that are abundant and can be harnessed locally, reducing dependence on foreign energy imports and improving national security. Our present area of fossil fuel economy, societies and civilization has given rise to an unusual and dangerous movement by contemporary humanity and our shared biosphere. The accelerating trends at global or planetary warming evidence through storm, ice melts, droughts, and hunger, unrest and migration. These situations call for a need to rapidly end the age of fossil fuels, and the world is now realizing that transitioning to renewable energy systems is a key strategy to address these crises. Members of the House, we have to see the need for this transition, but that is not why we are here. This transition is feasible and achievable, but there will be opposition, which my team will touch up on later. The wind and solar sectors are growing on an exponential rate. For faster than anyone had previously imagined, prices for renewable energy generation are plummeting and providing a cheaper alternative for utilities than the traditional coal and gas. With all that my team has said, you may ask yourself, where does the government enter? Well, members of the House, if the prices of renewable power generation is low, this means government can easily try and capitalize on this, because the R&D, or should I say research and development, will be cheaper. But before we get ahead of ourselves, to realize that the government may not be our biggest opposition to their good will. But with all that being said, I allow me to step down. Thank you.
The ability to achieve something does not have a time frame. With that being said, I'd like to extend my greetings to the House at large. Standing before you is Ulilita Sion from Westbank, and at the perspective of economy. So, the motion set before us today is that transitioning to 100% renewable energy is achievable or unrealistic, and we as Westbank stand with achievable. So, renewable energy is a form of energy that is not depleted when used. So, as we stand with the name as achievable, it does not mean that it can be achievable right now or in a short period of time, but it also means that it can be achievable after centuries, it can be achievable after so many years, but it still stands that it is achievable. So, for our policy, we see that as Westbank, we are saying that as the economic side, we go with the achievable option under the policy of getting 25% from the budget that goes to the generation of electricity through coal, and then we redirect the 25% of the money or the investment that it makes to the coal, and redirect it to renewable energy instead. This should take approximately about 5 years. So we put the burden upon ourselves that we're going to prove to you today that it is practical and achievable to transition 100% to renewable energy. We are going to focus on the benefits through the main aspects, which are employment, finance, production, inflation, revenue, and infrastructure. These are the benefits that this motion comes with. As that my fellow speakers are going to emphasize on. So, we highly acknowledge that both coal and biomass are sources of energy, but they have significant differences. And I should emphasis on that. We are not only standing with biomass, but all other examples of renewable energy. But biomass is the one that we saw sustainable and much affordable as side Westbank. So, let's do an analysis between the coal and biomass. Coal is a fossil fuel that emits high levels of greenhouse gas when burned, contributing to climate change. On the other hand, we have bioenergy. It is derived from organic material like plants, waste, which can be sustainable or if managed properly. So, we consider bioenergy a better alternative because it is renewable and reduces carbon emissions, which is a very advantage for our team case and can contribute to waste management. And please, let's take into consideration that biomass energy is often considered affordable than coal in terms of environmental and long terms of cost, which is what we need, ladies and gentlemen. So, designing economic model that reflects on the true cost of fossil fuels, including the environmental and health impacts, can make renewable energy more economically attractive by the help of government, obviously. By combining these strategies and tailoring them to the specific circumstances of each region, transitioning to renewable energy becomes achievable and beneficial for both environmental and the economy itself. So, my second speaker is going to come up here and emphasize on this, that our policy, the government can provide incentives, subsidies, and regulations that promote the adoption of renewable energy sources, making them more attractive and investors to the investors that are going to obviously invest in what we're doing. We need money. And then, with all of that being said, I thank you.
All right, thank you very much to our opening speakers. Another round of applause for them. We are now moving over to responses. Remember, in the response session, it's either you strengthen your stance, you oppose what the other team members have said, depending on what you think will be an advantage for your team. Can we have the first responders, please? And response statements are 1 minute each. Responders, please, take your seats. Sorry. Lighthouse, your responder, your first responder. Judges, are you ready? Right, over to you, Bishahai.
Okay. Greetings to everyone. I am the first response for the team ratio, and I'll be strengthening from what the first speaker said. The government plays a crucial role in ensuring safe and fair use of renewable energy resources by implementing appropriate policies and regulations. They can effectively promote the sustainable development and utilization of these resources. The government should enact clear laws and regulations that govern the use of renewable resources. These frameworks should cover various aspects such as licensing requirements, quality control standards, environmental impact assessments, and safety measures. Many countries heavily rely on important fossil fuels, which make them vulnerable to geopolitical tension and price fluctuations. By shifting towards renewable energy sources, countries can reduce their dependence on fossil fuel imports, thereby enhancing their energy security.
Developments in science and technology are influenced by society and impact cultural values and societal dynamics. Greetings to the House at its best, and before you today is Asam Banza, the second speaker for the Lighthouse Academy of Learning. Now, as my first speaker has stated, sociocultural is a term related to social and cultural factors, which means common traditions, habits, patterns, and beliefs present in a population group. By this, our team means that sociocultural theory is an emerging field of psychology that looks at the contributions of society to individual development. This theory has become increasingly prominent since the 1990s and can be applied in the educational settings as well in socialization and science, specifically human science. Science is increasingly expected to help in solving complex societal problems in collaboration with societal stakeholders. However, it is sometimes unclear what
Greetings to the House at large. I am Sitomile Tundash and I am the second speaker from Team Hector Peterson. As much as this transitioning will create job opportunities, however, it can help how
as we mentioned, we'll be getting 25% of what we use to generate coal. And to support that, governments can provide incentives, subsidies, and regulations that promote the adoption of renewable energy that attract investors and consumers. With that being said, thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give them another round of applause. Can we please get our second responders? Remember, 1 minute each. Lighthouse, your second responder.
For the benefit of those who do not know me, my name is Michael Dinasari, and I'll be the second response for Team Bishop High. The use of renewable energy sources supports sustainable development by meeting present energy needs without compromising the ability for future generations to meet their own needs. Common fossil fuels like coal and oil have detrimental effects on public health, Through the use of renewable energy sources, the emissions of harmful pollutants and particulate matter such as sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides can be significantly reduced. The transition to renewable energy can enhance political international cooperation and collaboration. Renewable energy technologies are often characterized by knowledge sharing, research collaborations, and joint ventures between countries by working together to develop and deploy energy solutions. Nations can build strong diplomatic relationships, mutual beneficial partnerships, therefore resulting in public stability and mutual beneficial partnerships.
Morning, teachers and students. My name is Lutolo Lolwana, and I'll be emphasizing more on what my first and second respondents have said. The culture of a society is reflected in the values and norms and practices. Culture observes itself through individuals to reflect the perception, practices, values, and transfer of technology. Technology has a crucial impact on fundamental aspects of all our cultures, including art, language, mobility, education, and religion. Culture of a community as a standard for perceiving, judging, and evaluating the technology. As technology affects all the components of culture, it determines the direction of cultural development to occupy the larger cultural dimension. Technology should be in harmony with social and cultural conditions of a community. Else exists a friction between technology
All protocols observed. Standing before you is a student from Victor Peterson High School as the second responder. Wind power. Wind turbines harness energy from the wind's mechanical power to spin a generator and create electricity. Wind energy projects result in jobs in rural communities such as manufacturing, transportation, and project construction. Significant economic impacts of the wind industry do include payment to local landowners, short and long-term jobs, and spending on goods and services in supporting industries. I think.
Greetings to the House at large. Standing before you is Sociocultural Theory, a proud scholar of Project Technical High School. Members of the House, one question we all oppose is, where does the government pose opposition? Many countries are moving to renewable energy, but many governments are continuing to subsidize fossil fuels extension and production of an estimated 5 trillion per year. The main barriers to the widespread implementation of worldwide renewable energy strategies are seen to be primarily social and political rather than technological or even economic. With the government not being known for their accountability of decisions around the science and technology, but they develop this leaves the possessions of transitioning at a great risk. But this leaves other people being held accountable for bad decisions. As mentioned before, despite the energy
The ability to achieve something does not have a time frame. Without wasting any time, I'll be focusing on the benefits to the economy under the main aspect finance. I'll be doing this under 3 main ways. Number 1, cost saving. Members of the House, bioenergy sources like forestry waste and organic material can often be obtained at lower cost compared to fossil fuels. Potentially, this reduces energy expenses for consumers and businesses. Number 2, energy stability. Ladies and gentlemen, it is quite undeniable that everyone prefers stable prices than ones that increase every time. Now with this bioenergy, the prices are much more stable as compared to our current energy sources. Number 3, inflation and fuel prices decrease. Using bioenergy as a source of energy means inflation and most fuel prices are not affected in any way. It is quite rather the opposite for the current energy sources like the coal that we're currently using. This therefore makes the renewable energy sources, which is bioenergy, the best alternative. With all that being said, we as Westbank
Thank you very much. Let's give our second responders another round of applause. Can you please have our last responders, please? Use your 1 minute wisely, guys. Greetings, I am Zondi Asake from Bush High School. To make the world entirely reliant on using sustainable energy, we need to use a combination of different types of renewable energy. Solar, wind and hydropower are great options because they don't produce greenhouse gases or other pollutants. They are available everywhere you go, meaning they are not limited to a specific region. They are local sources of energy and are constantly being improved and becoming more sufficient every single year. By making sure that everyone has access to sustainable energy through policies that incentive the use of renewable energy. For example, government can offer tax credits or subsidies to people who install solar panels or other renewable energy systems. They can also regulate how much renewable energy utilities must produce. Another important factor is making sure that everyone, the benefits of renewable energy are shared equitably. This means that people in low-income areas have access to clean energy and don't bear the brunt of environmental impacts of fossil fuels. We also have an idea of energy justice. This concept recognizes that people have
Greetings everyone, saying from the field Zilipia Mambela, and I'll be talking about the advance that science and technology have in the society. Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancement, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. Technology progresses as society evolves. That being said, progress comes at a price. This price is different for each person and varies based on how much people value technological and scientific advancements in their own lives. Thomas Park, whose networks of power compared how electric power systems developed in America, England, and Germany, showing that they required not only electrical but social engineering to create the necessary legal frameworks, financing standards, political support, and organization designs. In other words, the scientific invention and production of new technology does not ensure its success. Technology's success is highly dependent on society's acceptance.
Greetings. A question to Westbank. Why stick with biomass but it emits large amounts to global warming? Well, my team and I stick to geothermal energy, which only contributes 1% to global warming. Geothermal energy has the potential to be a benefit to South Africa's economy. Our country has a large abundance of geothermal resources. By tapping into these resources, we could create jobs from maintenance, engineering, and construction of these machineries. In addition, this reduces the dependence of the country in imported fossil fuels. It saves money and also creates energy independence. Ladies and gentlemen, lastly, this could also boost the tourism of our country. Tourists can be attracted by the country's hot springs and also geothermal landscapes, meaning there will be more income that is coming to our country. Thank you.
As mentioned before, despite the agency, the development of renewable energy technology have been seen by political practices. In many cases, conflicts around renewable energy insulator, especially wind blower, have been delayed or overheated the uptake of renewables. My team would believe that it is realistic ever with the political opposition because technology has been a good effect on government. This is for a positive cause, so government will be able to take opportunity willingly, which is why we should 100% support this.
anything does not have a time frame. With that being said, my name is Angela Mafukete from Westbank and Side Economic, right? So my points here will be on jobs, unemployment, and other benefits, right? How will this sustainable energy impact the economy? The EA estimates that the transition towards the net zero emission will lead to an overall increase in energy sector jobs, right? While about 5 million jobs in fossil fuel production could be lost by 2030, but the estimated 14 million new jobs would be created in clean energy, resulting to a net gain of 9 million jobs. This could literally solve our unemployment issue in South Africa. According to the National Solar Jobs, the industry creates more jobs than any other sector, states the USA. Imagine what it could do for a country like South Africa. Because the solar-related jobs tend to have higher paying and cannot be outsourced, they are significant contributors to the USA. With that being said, I'd like to give you a much.
Thank you very much. Last responders, please go back to your audience. Another round of applause. We will now be moving over to our second session, which is the Imbizo session. This is where you guys get to interact with different teams, gather ideas, more points for your closing statements. But before we go to that session, I would like to give our judges just a few words to say about the first session. Over to you, Ms. Giu. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, congratulations on your first session. Well done. But I'd like to give you a few pointers going forward, right? Firstly, for your first session, the things that we're looking for, you have to get our attention. You have to give interest, you have to engage with us. You know, it's not necessarily about just reading your research. Engage with us. Like, make sure that, be confident in what you're saying and engage with with your audience, sorry. There also has to be a smooth transition from one idea to the other. Your presentation of argument has to flow, you know. Please ensure that you provide a tangible solution to the topic, and just general eye contact, presentation, use of the language, grammar, you know. So going to the closing statements, therefore, please keep these points in your mind, and just good luck. Good luck.
Ms. Giu, I hope you guys got all of that. Are you ready? Ooh, sorry.
Hey, there was a camera.
sorry. Guys, the session you can use Wi-Fi. I can give you the Wi-Fi password so that you can search and add more points to your closing statements. I think I'll give you 30 minutes for that, and then we'll reconvene here.